Welcome to the Graybeard Chronicles podcast. Your hosts, Brian Halstead and Kevin Harkins, are two gray-bearded patriots who love God, their family and friends, and their country. The Graybeards are here to inspire, inform, and educate you on a myriad of topics they are passionate about. Brian and Kevin have a strong desire to share this with you to help you live your best life. Sit back and enjoy this amazing podcast as the Graybeards pass along the wisdom of the ages.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. I'm Brian Halstead.
And I'm Kevin Harkins.
And Kevin, we're here to pass along some wisdom of the ages. What the heck does that mean?
We're not perfect, but we do have gray beards. And that means we've got some significant life experience, some life lessons, and some perspectives that are worthy of passing along.
Well, I think that sums it up nicely. Let's get to it. Kevin, what's going on? How are you, buddy?
Doing great, Brian. How are you doing?
Doing outstanding, thank you.
I'm just chilling.
You just chilling?
I'm just chilling. That's
you need to put a coat on or a shirt back on?
No. I'm just chilling.
All right. Singing Amazing Grace does that for you?
It does, yeah. Just kind of make.
For those of you that obviously did not hear that because he would not let me hit the record button, but Kevin just rattled off a pretty phenomenal rendition of Amazing Grace. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry to deprive you of that. He wouldn't let me record it.
Amazing rendition. That's I'll take that as a high compliment coming from you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, it was entertaining.
So this is not Grammy Award winning. Are Grammys music? I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, I think you should not quit your day job.
So what is a Grammy? That's music, right? It's a music award.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I believe it is. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. I
Oscars.
I got other stuff going on.
I agree with you. I know Oscars are acting. Tonys are maybe theater or TV. I don't know.
Heard of them all. Couldn't tell you exactly the
I-
category, conclusively for each of them. Not sure.
I'm with you. But I think
One thing I can tell you is there are not any of them on the wall here behind us or anywhere in my house.
Okay. All right. Very good. So Grammy, I think that's
we'll go with that, Grammy.
okay. But that's not what you were suggesting I was in competition for based on what
Oh
you
no,
heard.
certainly not.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
No.
That hurts.
Yeah. I mean, it was entertaining, but seriously, come on now.
It's all about entertainment.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You were enjoying it though, and that's what matters is you were having a good time. You were sharing your I don't know if I'd call it a talent, but you were sharing your ability. We'll say that. And you were having fun, so it was all good.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh man, here we go again off on some crazy tangent. That is not what we're here to talk about.
What are we here to talk about?
Well, man, we're talking about something that could potentially fall within that scope, right? But I wanted to talk about managing your mojo.
All right.
Yeah. And so, part of your mojo or maintaining and managing your mojo might actually be singing.
Yeah, that could be part of it.
Yeah.
So you've just given me the first hint of what it means to you.
Well, I was going to ask you, that was my follow-up question. What do you think I was talking about when I picked this topic of managing your mojo? What came to mind for you?
Okay, so the way I'll answer that question is this is a candidate for possibly the least understanding of any of the podcasts that we've done just based on title.
Yeah, I got that in your text response.
Right.
It was, I forget exactly what you said, but it kind of came through pretty loud and clear that you're like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Not sure what it is exactly, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. So I want to know. I want to know what you think this means.
Well,
what it means to you.
Well, I asked you first.
You did, but but since it's your topic,
all right, I'll go first.
Yeah.
So to me, in my interpretation of your mojo is your energy.
Okay.
You know, that level of energy and enthusiasm and drive and just your overall state of being, your demeanor. I mean, you can assign a bunch of different words to it.
Okay.
But ultimately it's that.
Okay.
How you are, what's your temperature, and I don't mean, you know, that literally.
Yeah. I like it. And the word I put in there was attitude, because that was the best sort of connection that I could make with it. So for me, it was managing your attitude, which is a tremendously important topic, I think.
Oh yeah.
To so does that work for you? Does attitude? I mean, it's not exactly the same, but is it close enough to?
I'm gonna need to hear more before
Okay.
I can make a. No, it's that's absolutely fine. I mean, that's one of the reasons we do this the way we do it, right? You know, because we might not interpret it the same way, and we often do, because the topics are maybe a little more clear on, you know, the where we're headed. But in these circumstances, yeah, let's hear what your interpretation was, and what you bring to the table.
And I
There.
think I can best do that by telling a story.
All right.
I'm in a crowd, and somebody who's not a part of this crowd right now walks up into the and joins the conversation that's taking place. And this person, just you can feel it before they're even there. This person has, you know, an energy. They have a presence, and they walk in, and they can take over, you know, and be the biggest, loudest, largest personality in there. They can
Right.
kind of take it a back seat and just kind of watch and exercise the 2-minute rule. You're not allowed to speak until you've been there for 2 minutes and listen to what's going on, so you don't, you know, embarrass yourself by saying something that they already talked about.
I've never actually heard that 2-minute rule.
Okay, that's
actually pretty cool.
yeah. And so, but if somebody comes in, if they have really positive energy, if they have like a really good attitude, you can feel it, and you can tell, even if they're just standing there. And it might be the way that they're interacting, but as soon as they start to talk, and as soon as you know, depending on the words they use, how they present themselves, you can think to yourself, that person's got some good mojo going on.
Yeah. It's you've probably heard the phrase that everyone warms a room.
Mm-hmm.
Some when they enter, and some when they leave.
I have not heard that.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah. So somebody with mojo,
Right.
right? They're the ones that warm the room when they enter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then managing that, because I think it's good to be able to sense what's going on. First of all, with yourself, and that's most importantly.
Right.
Take inventory, take a sounding on yourself, and see, where am I at. And I believe that your mood, your mojo, follows your actions. So if you just sort of decide, I'm going to be happy today, and I'm going to do things that make me happy, then the emotions, the mojo, can follow that.
Yep. We're absolutely lockstep on the same track here.
Okay.
You know, because that's exactly right. You know, you're in your actions. You know, I see mojo is kind of like your fuel tank, your gas tank. You know, we operate off combustion engines in my America, and so we have a gas tank. We're not plugging into anything. We're actually filling up stuff.
All right.
And you know, so for me, your mojo is like that. You know, it's got that gauge, and you know, it'll go down sometimes because there's certain things that, you know, you may have to engage in that make a withdrawal from that mojo tank, and then you need to do things to fill it back up, right? To add volume back to that tank, and you do that a lot of times through your activities, right? So what are you doing? You know, are you working out, right? That puts you in a better space. Who are you spending time with? What kind of relationships do you have? What are you spending time doing? Are you doing things that you like to do, things you enjoy, things that make you happy, things that make, you know, fill you up, things, you know, volunteering, helping others? Are you spreading, you know, kindness and things like that will make you feel better and fill that mojo tank back up? So yeah, you're spot on with the activities driving it.
Okay. And managing it is important because I know a lot of people do this. I know that I do it. I will think through my day when I'm getting ready, work day, and it'll be on my calendar. There'll be meetings, and I'll actually mentally rehearse what kind of mojo, what kind of attitude, what kind of energy do I want to have in this particular meeting? Do I want to come across aggressive? Do I want to hang back and be
Right.
quiet? All that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's managing your mojo. And you do it if you just show up and you don't have that predetermined thought, then it just sort of goes, where it goes.
Yeah, you might be rolling the dice there a little bit and just allowing emotion to kick in,
Right.
instead of having a plan going into it. I like that.
Ooh, and I like your one about emotion, because you're right. There are things, if you've decided beforehand you're not going to get emotional or you're going to keep it under check, then you do. And something comes up and it hits your button, and you could have a
Right.
reaction to it, but you don't, because predetermined thought predicts present action.
Yeah.
You've thought that through, and you're managing it. There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah. So how's your mojo? Your mojo looks pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm
Feeling good, feeling strong.
feeling good, feeling strong.
Yeah. All right.
How about you? Same.
Same. Yeah.
All right.
Feeling good, feeling strong. I got a big boost in my mojo tank not too long ago, because as you well know, I'm cleared by my medical team and back on two wheels again.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, value those things in your life that really matter to you, right? And I knew not riding my motorcycle for the last roughly year was weighing on me, right? I knew it was something that I missed. And I got to tell you, I didn't realize just how much I missed it until I started doing it again.
Wonderful.
That is, they don't call it two-wheel therapy for nothing.
Okay.
Not that I need therapy per se. It's just, man, it just fills you up. It really does. It's good for that mojo tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to ride and just feel that wind in your face and not have a smile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's a good way to do it. And everybody should know, so for those who are listening and thinking, what am I doing with my mojo? Well, I mean, you ought to be thinking about how you're going to manage it. How you're going to manage it with your family. How you're going to manage it with the close loved ones in your life, so that you are coming across in a way that is approachable, and then you can communicate and you can make forward progress in a constructive way.
And guard it, right? You got to have, you've got to be your guardian of your mojo, right? So
sometimes,
well,
yeah.
and when you start rattling off these, these different people that you interact with in your life, there are going to people that are, be people that are energy vampires that are going to suck the life right out of the room when they come in, and they put a deficit in your mojo potentially, if you allow it.
Right.
But if you know that's going to happen and you manage for it, and then, maybe, you got to go spend some time with Sally tonight, and Sally just sucks the life out of the room when she comes in, because, she's got this really bad victim mindset, and it's a woe is me thing, and, just not fun to be around. So, going into it, you've got to interact with her. So maybe you do some things that day to max out the mojo meter. And so, when you're done dealing with Sally and getting that shit on you, you're only down just a little bit.
Sally's hypothetical, I'm assuming here. There's
I'm not even sure if I know anybody
named
currently that I interact with named Sally.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Sally's that girl you sing about. And then there's, well, anyways, you know the song, right? Never mind.
I'm good.
We'll sing that later.
Okay.
Yeah. So mojo, I think it's an important thing to understand. And we've talked around it, never actually called it that before.
Yeah.
But it really is something to pay attention to, right? It's how you feel. It's what the energy you bring to the world, and it's an important thing. It really is. Like, I'm not sure I'm doing it justice by describing it. And at the same time, can't overstate its importance.
And you know, the thing that the last thing I'll say on it, you have really no idea the kind of impact you're having on somebody else when you come in with a good mojo, with a
Oh yeah.
good, and you have in many cases no idea how much you've helped that person. But
Agreed.
they've done something, they've said something, or you've said something, you've done something, or you've come across in a way, and a year later you'll hear about them saying or telling a story or telling someone else, yeah, this happened and he said this and it really changed my thinking on something. And so just know that's happening. It's all coming back to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate you saying that because you're absolutely right. That does happen.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to be on both the receiving and giving end of that,
Mhm.
right? So the receiving end, you know it. You might not figure it out right then,
Right.
but you will figure it out. And then same thing on the on the giving side. You may never know, right? You may never get that feedback that you had a positive impact on somebody by the way, you showed up that day and the mojo that you brought to the table. Um, yeah.
That's a good way to say it, actually. The way you show up. How are you showing up to life? How are you showing up to your family event? How are you showing up at work? How are you showing up when you're meeting with your buddies, wherever? That's a good way. What is your mojo and what should it
Yeah,
be?
it's another one of those things. When are people excited to see you? When you get there or when you leave?
Right.
When are they most excited? Yeah. That'll tell you whether or not you got some good mojo or not.
Manage your mojo. There you go.
All right. Anything else to add on the subject, sir?
No, sir.
All right. Well, I'm gonna mojo on over here and hit that button right there and say something like this. No matter who you are, where you are, what you're doing, working on your mojo or whatever, make sure between this podcast and the next, you take time to enjoy the ride.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. Please subscribe so you'll receive notification when new episodes are available. To learn more about the Graybeards, visit their website, graybeardchronicles.com.